stationery for note-taking and journaling. I've got writing utensils and writing utensil assistants, which is just a fancy way of saying an eraser. It's gonna be a fun time. Let's dive in. These babies right here, if you aren't familiar with them, are Crayola Super Tips. I love these. They're super budget friendly. I'll have them linked in the description box below and links to everything else I talk about today. I remember buying a package of I think 50 for very cheap. I have quite a collection, so every color of the rainbow is covered, and I have them stored in this cube from Amazon. These cubes actually come in different variations. It will also be linked below. These are great for underlining and creating boxes in your notes. You can use them for brush lettering, so if you want to spice up your fonts and your titles, this is a really inexpensive way to do that. And as I mentioned, because there's so many colors, you can color coordinate them so that you use specific colors for specific courses. Or if you're using these in your journal, you can use different colors for different months, for different times of the year. So these are just amazing. Of course, if you're really into brush lettering or like to add pops of color to your notes journal, Tombow dual brush pens are also really great. These are definitely more of an investment than the Crayola Super Tips over there, but these last forever. So you do really get your money's worth. If you find these at your local craft store, they're usually sold individually, so that's great because you can just pick the colors that you really think you'll get the most use out of. I have lots of pens to talk about. The first one's coming from Muji. This one has a cap and this one has a click-clack, and they're just really great for note-taking. They pass the smudge test, so immediately after you write, if you put your finger through your writing, it doesn't smudge, which is nice. I will say though, if you highlight on top of Muji pens, there is a bit of smudging situation. So if you know in advance that you want to highlight something, I would put that highlighter or that marker down first and then write on top of it. But these pens have made my writing so much neater. I love this particular one in 0.38, which is like a very skinny pen. But if you like something just a bit thicker, 0.5 is a great option. A pen that I am truly shocked I haven't talked about before on this channel are the Pentel RSVPs. I only have the colored versions here, but they come in black, and the black Pentel RSVPs are the only pen that was really in my house growing up. They are definitely my mom's favorite pen, and by default, it kind of became one of mine. They write so smoothly, they pass the smudge test, they sound really cool when you rub them together. And they're really well reviewed on Amazon for a reason, because they're just like a great staple pen to have on hand. I also really enjoy these ones from Poppin. They're another clicky-clacky ballpoint situation. This is definitely one of the thicker pens I have, so it does create a bolder font, but it's really beautiful. Because it is bolder combined with the formula, I find it does smudge a bit more. So if I'm planning on using a lot of markers and highlighters, I probably wouldn't gravitate towards this pen, but I always have a ton of these next to me on my desk for easy access for notes on sticky notes or randomly jotting things down on paper. Plus they look really cute. For more fun pen needs, these ones from Sakura, the jelly rolls, are just spectacular. You guys know by now, I love the white ones. I use the size 10 a lot for when I'm writing on black washi tape or black post-it notes, but these colors are gorgeous too. They also come in beautiful grays if you want to like change the black tones in your notes. They're satisfying to use, they're satisfying to look at. There's a lot of things going for these guys right here. I think when we're talking about writing utensils, we're usually more interested in pens and markers, but pencils are important too. I took a lot of math in university, and doing math homework with anything but a pencil would just be wrong. And honestly, I loved using basic HB2 pencils. So these are just like the classic yellow ones, which there's something really satisfying about a nice classic yellow pencil. And these ones I got when I was in Portugal years ago, but they have like a natural wood finish, so a little bit more aesthetically pleasing in the HB2 department. Nowadays, I use these all the time to even pre-sketch out my planner spreads. If you are wanting to step up your wooden pencil game though, check out the Palomino Blackwing Pearl. I love this pencil so much, and there's different versions of this pencil, so I can't speak on my favorite in the Blackwing line. Before trying out this pencil, I just thought all wooden pencils wrote the same way, but this really changed my mind on that because this feels luxurious as you're writing with it. Definitely a big fan of this guy right here. Again, at your local craft stores, you can sometimes find these is sold individually, so you don't have to commit to a whole set. Speaking of pencils, an eraser is always a must. Now, my instinct is to recommend these beautiful erasers from the brand Milan. If I was gonna be an eraser, I'd wanna be these because they're just so cutely shaped. And they do successfully erase, but I find their odd shapes make aggressive, intense erasing sessions not as enjoyable with this. They're great for small mistakes and I love having them in my pencil case, but if I have an intense erasing job, I like to use the high polymer eraser from Pentel. This is for those I screwed up the whole question, I need to eliminate this, remove the evidence that this ever happened situation. When you use it, there's a lot of eraser guts that come off of it, but it does a really good job at making it look like nothing was there before. Not the most luxurious thing in the world, but you know, we got to talk about the functional things too. If you're writing in anything that's not pencil though, then for any mistakes, you're gonna need correction tape, and I really like the basic Bic whiteouts. I never have problems with the tape being caught on anything. It covers everything that I need it to. So I can't really ask for much more from a correction tape. Another thing I really love is this permanent adhesive. This looks like correction tape, but it's not. This is from Tombow. I've recently gotten into pasting things into my journal, specifically craft paper, and this is so much easier to use than a glue stick. It allows you to apply adhesive exactly where you want it to. There's no mess, no sticky fingers. It has a little flap to cover the adhesive part when you're not using it. It's just really well designed. And I think you're able to buy replacement cartridges for it, so you don't have to keep buying the whole unit every time you run out, which is really awesome. When it comes to highlighting, over the years, I've really steered away from neon colors and more towards muted ones. And if you've watched a few videos in the study space, then you've probably heard about both of these brands because they offer such beautiful colors. There's the Stabilo pastel lines. They have the Boss versions, which are these really thick, good feeling highlighters. They just, I love holding these, but they also come in a thinner swing cool version, and they also have these in a mini version if you want to have something that's really easy on the go. The purple and the pink are definitely my most used. And the other brand is, of course, Zebra Mildliners. These get a lot of hype for a good reason, in addition to them just being like something really gorgeous to look at. They are dual-ended, so you've got a highlighting end, you've got the fine marker end. These right here are probably my most used colors, if it will focus for me. There we go. They do have some neon colors, but I feel like if you want a good neon highlighter, Sharpie, Bic. What is the other one that's really popular? You get them at Walmart. They're really good, but they do tend to be more, in your face highlighting. I mentioned earlier the situation of sometimes having to paste things into your notebook or into your journal. And if you're gonna do any pasting, then you're probably gonna be doing some cutting. So you need a good pair of scissors. Now my instinct is to tell you all about like these right here, which are like a gorgeous pair of scissors. They even sound good when they cut. Should just do a whole video on stationary ASMR. But honestly, even though these do cut things, I think you not only have more control, but you get a cleaner cut with a basic pair of scissors like these. These ones are from Scotch, and I've had them for about 5 years, since the first year of university. They're easy to use. I always can get like really precise cuts with these. And you know, you just need a good, reliable pair of scissors. As much as this is fun, I would be lost without you. And I mean, still cute. Just like a different look than this one. I feel like when it comes to stationery, it's easy to get like swept away with the aesthetically pleasing tools, but when you actually start using some things, you realize that the function is a lot more important. So as painful as it is, sometimes I have to make smarter decisions. Sticky notes and flags are an essential, not just in terms of stationery, but an essential for life, really. I have the worst memory, so these save me all the time. You can use flags in your notebooks to keep track of what current page you're on. on or things you need to review. And sticky notes, obviously, you can use for whatever. As a student, I would write down my homework questions, like what specific questions I had to answer in my textbook on here, or I'd highlight main ideas on a sticky note. My personal preference is the white sticky note, which I'm running out of, because you're able to use any colored pen or marker or even pencil and it will show up perfectly because it's white. Whereas with ones that are colored, even though I do love using this as well, you do have to pay a little bit more attention to what writing utensil you're using on them. I don't think I've gone into any note-taking or journaling session where I don't need to use a ruler. So I take my ruler very seriously. And if you watch my bullet journal videos, then you know I love this see-through grid one. It's really big, so no matter what size notebook I'm using, I can make whatever line my heart desires. And the see-through element is huge, so I always know exactly where to start and end my line. I also love the fact that it's flat. There's no like bezel or lifted areas here, so when I'm looking for my measurement, I know no matter what, I'm getting the right numbers. This circle template always guarantees that I have the perfect circle because I cannot freehand that. If you needed circles on the go, you'd probably want more of like a compass situation, but at home, I love just whipping this out, having this near me in my stationery cart, and I can draw circles either for like really coolly shaped to-do lists, or if I have a pie graph to draw, or I want to draw the sun. There's a lot of uses, I promise, for this, and not a very expensive thing to have as part of your collection, but it provides endless amusement. Binder clips are a big one for me. Paper clips are great too. I just find binder clips tended to be what I needed more of during school because I'd have a lot of loose papers or loose notes that I needed to bunch together. We've got the traditional binder clip, but I like the spicy one. Doesn't it make you want to clip things together? I think I got these mini mason jars at the dollar store. If you're wanting a journal for yourself, I use currently this one from Archer and Olive. It's a dotted journal and the paper quality in this is insane. It is so thick so nothing ever bleeds or ghosts. I can use anything on here and never run into any issues, and it just looks gorgeous. But this does come at a bit of a price tag, especially if you're in Canada and have to factor in duties and shipping and all of that stuff. Although I do think there's a Canadian retailer online that sells them. I will have it linked below. But for a really good budget-friendly option that you can use for journaling or even as a school notebook if you wanted more of like a bound notebook situation, is this one from Peter Popper Press. It's dotted as well, which is my paper preference, although I liked using grid paper too when I was in school. The pages are really white. Again, I didn't have too many issues with bleeding, ghosting either. Let me be clear, at the end of the day, the only thing you need for note-taking or journaling is a pen and paper. But these are some fun extras that I wanted to share with you. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is your #1 stationery item? Don't forget that I have links to everything linked in the description. Like this video if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already, because I'm constantly posting stationery, note-taking, organization, bullet journal content, and you don't want to miss out. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. Until then, bye everyone.
Lately nothing goes in my direction. Lately nothing's coming my way. Keep drowning every bit of my devotion, sinking deeper